Hey everyone, welcome back to English Podcast for You. I'm Leo.
And I'm Emma. If you're listening to us today while commuting, cleaning your room, or drinking your morning coffee, welcome. We're so glad you're here with us.
Today's topic is, well, it's a big one. It's something almost every single person goes through, but nobody really prepares you for.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about that strange, terrifying gap between finishing college and suddenly standing at the edge of the real world.
The real world. Man, I used to hate that phrase when I was 21.
Right? Everyone keeps saying, just wait until you get into the real world, and you're sitting in your final semester thinking, come on, how hard can it actually be?
And then, boom, graduation happens. You throw your cap in the air, you take photos with your family, you eat cake, and 3 days later you wake up in your bedroom staring at the ceiling thinking, college is over. Now what?
That exact moment is so heavy. You go from having a daily routine, seeing your friends every single day, having clear goals, to suddenly facing total uncertainty.
Exactly. You lose that safety net overnight. In college, your job is just to study and pass exams. The path is already drawn for you. But once you graduate, you hold the pen and the page is completely blank.
It really is. And for a lot of people, especially our listeners who might be dealing with this in a new language or a new country, it feels completely overwhelming.
Can we talk about job applications for a second? Because wow.
Oh gosh, don't trigger my PTSD, Leo.
No, seriously. When you first step into the job market, you're so full of hope, right? You open your laptop, you polish your resume, you dress up nice for a profile photo.
And then you open LinkedIn or Indeed, search for an entry-level job, and read the requirements.
Entry-level position requires 3 to 5 years of experience, a master's degree, and the ability to speak 3 languages while juggling.
Exactly. Like, excuse me, it's called entry-level. That means I am trying to enter the door. How can I have 5 years of experience if nobody hires me to give me experience?
It's a complete paradox. It makes you feel like you're already behind before you've even started.
How did you handle that feeling back then, Leo? Do you remember your first few weeks of job hunting?
Man, honestly, I felt tiny. Every morning I would sit at my desk, send out 15 custom cover letters, and then silence. Days of pure silence.
The ghosting. That's the hardest part, isn't it? Not even getting a rejection email, just nothing.
Yeah, it feels like sending messages into a black hole. You start questioning yourself. You think, was my degree useless? Am I just bad at this?
That self-doubt sneaks in so fast, and social media definitely doesn't help.
You hit the nail on the head. Social media during graduation season is dangerous.
It really is. You scroll through Instagram or LinkedIn and every second post is, I'm so thrilled to announce that I have accepted a role at Google, or so blessed to start my new journey as a senior manager at 22.
Right, and you're sitting there in your pajamas at 2 p.m. eating leftover cold pizza, wondering why you haven't received a single callback.
Hey, don't disrespect cold pizza. But yes, exactly. We compare our behind-the-scenes struggles to everybody else's highlight reel.
Exactly. You don't see the 50 rejection emails that person got before they posted that one success announcement. You only see the finish line, not the marathon.
That reminds me, I remember calling my mom about a month after graduation. I was crying in my kitchen because I had received 3 rejection letters in a single day.
Wow. What did she tell you?
She told me something I'll never forget. She said, Emma, you are not failing. You are just in the middle of the transition. Transitions are supposed to be messy.
Transitions are supposed to be messy. Man, that's so true. We expect ourselves to instantly switch from student mode to successful adult mode overnight, but life doesn't work like that.
It's not just about finding a job either, is it? It's also about losing your social structure.
Oh, 100%. In college, your best friends live down the hallway or 2 streets away. You can hang out at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday just because you felt like getting late-night snacks.
Oh, those late-night ramen runs, I miss those.
Right? But after graduation, everybody scatters. Some friends move back home, some move across the country for work, and suddenly your social circle shrinks drastically.
And you realize how quiet life can get.
Yeah. The uncertainty of where your friends are going, combined with the pressure of building your own career, it gets lonely. It really does.
So, how do we cope with all of this? If someone listening right now is sitting in their room feeling completely lost and overwhelmed by the real world, what's step one?
Step 1 is forgiving yourself for not having it all figured out today. You don't need a 10-year plan right now. You just need a plan for this week.
I love that. Small steps. Build a small daily routine. Get up at a normal time, go for a short walk, work on your resume for 2 hours, and then give yourself permission to rest.
Exactly. The job market might be tough, but you are tougher than you think. Every application you send, even the ones that get rejected, is practice.
And if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're already taking a step to improve your English and invest in yourself. That counts.
That definitely counts. Speaking of taking steps, another thing that really helped me during that chaotic time was managing my expectations about what my first actual job was going to look like.
Oh, say more about that, because I think a lot of us step out of university expecting our first job to be our dream job.
Exactly. You think you're going to land this amazing position where you're running big projects, leading team meetings, and making a massive impact on day one?
And instead, your manager spends the entire first week teaching you how to use the office printer and showing you where the coffee filters are kept.
Oh, the printer. Don't get me started. My very first week at my first office job, I accidentally jammed the main copier machine on a Tuesday morning, and half the department was standing behind me waiting to print their reports.
No way. What did you do?
I panicked, Emma. I literally just stood there, stared at the error screen, and said, "I think it's broken." A senior worker had to come over, pull out 3 sheets of crumpled paper, and fix it in 5 seconds. I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me whole.
That is classic entry-level trauma. But honestly, that's such a good point. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect right away. But the truth is, nobody expects a fresh graduate to know everything.
Exactly. Employers know you're learning. The most important quality isn't knowing how to do every task on day one. It's just showing up with a willingness to listen, ask questions, and learn from mistakes.
Absolutely. And asking for help is actually a skill, you know? When you're in college, asking for help on an exam feels like cheating. But in the real world, sitting there in silence when you're stuck is what actually gets you into trouble.
Exactly. "I don't know, but I'm eager to learn" is one of the most powerful phrases you can use in an interview or on the job. It shows confidence, not weakness.
I love that. It takes away so much of that suffocating pressure.
It really does. You don't have to be the expert yet. You just have to be the student who is ready to grow.
That mindset shift completely changes the game. But you know what else surprised me during that post-grad transition? The financial reality shock.
Oh man, the money. Or should I say, the lack of money.
Right? In college, if you have $20 in your bank account on a Friday night, you feel like you can buy a slice of pizza and hang out with friends. You feel okay.
Because you know your living expenses are somehow handled for the semester.
Exactly. But then you get your first real paycheck, and for about 5 seconds, you feel rich. You look at that total number and think, wow, look at all this money I earned.
And then rent is due. Electricity bill arrives. Wi-Fi bill arrives. Groceries. Health insurance.
Suddenly, that paycheck disappears into thin air. You're sitting there looking at your bank app like, wait, where did all that money go? I didn't even buy anything fun.
Welcome to Adulting 101. Taxes and bills, the dynamic duo nobody warned us about in lecture halls.
It's so true. I remember the first time I had to buy my own vacuum cleaner. I stood in the home appliances section for 20 minutes staring at the prices, genuinely offended at how expensive a piece of plastic is that sucks up dust could be.
Buying household essentials with your own hard-earned money hits totally differently. You start guarding paper towels like they're made of gold.
But honestly, even though it's scary, there's also a quiet sense of pride that comes with it, don't you think? That first time you pay your rent entirely on your own, it's terrifying, but it also feels like, hey, I'm doing it. I'm actually making my own way.
You're right. It's a huge confidence booster. It's the difference between feeling like a kid playing dress-up in adult clothes and actually becoming independent.
Speaking of independence, what about dealing with family expectations? Because I know a lot of our listeners experience a lot of pressure from parents or relatives after graduating.
Ugh, yeah, that's a tricky balance. Parents usually mean well, but their questions can feel like an interrogation sometimes.
So, did you hear back from that company? What's your starting salary? When are you getting your own apartment?
Your cousin just got a job at a Fortune 500 firm. Why aren't you applying there?
Ugh, the classic cousin comparison. It's the absolute worst.
It really is. But what I had to realize, and what took me a long time to learn, is that our parents grew up in a completely different job market.
That's a great point. How do you mean?
Well, back when our parents graduated, you could literally walk into an office building, hand someone a physical piece of paper, shake the manager's hand, and get hired on the spot.
Right. Or you stayed at the exact same company for 30 years straight.
Exactly. They don't always understand that today, everything goes through automated online algorithms. Thousands of applicants apply for a single role, and response times take weeks or even months.
So, when they ask questions constantly, it's usually not out of cruelty, it's usually out of anxiety for us. They just want to know we're going to be okay.
Exactly. So instead of getting defensive, I started telling my parents, I'm working hard on it every day, and as soon as I have news, you'll be the first to know. Setting that gentle boundary helped lower my stress level so much.
That is such a mature way to handle it. Setting boundaries with loved ones while still appreciating their care is a huge part of stepping into the real world.
It really is. And you know, while we're talking about navigating all these challenges, we haven't even touched on the mental fatigue of it all, the burnout from constantly searching for opportunities.
Ugh, the job search fatigue is so real. People don't talk enough about how exhausting it is to sit in front of a screen for 6 hours a day, tweaking your resume over and over again.
It's a full-time job in itself, except you're not getting paid for it.
Right, exactly. That's why taking actual breaks without feeling guilty is so critical. When you're unemployed or job hunting, any moment you spend relaxing feels like you're wasting time.
Yes, that guilty conscience is vicious. You sit down to watch a movie or read a book, and this little voice in your head whispers, you should be customizing cover letters right now.
And that voice ruins your rest completely. You end up not working properly, but not resting properly either. You're just trapped in this state of continuous stress.
To break that cycle, I had to set actual working hours for my job search. I told myself I will work on applications from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., my workday is officially done and I am allowed to enjoy my evening.
Smart. That's brilliant, Leo. Creating artificial structure when you don't have an official workplace gives your brain permission to turn off.
Otherwise, you just go crazy staring at your inbox waiting for notifications.
Right. Hoping every email chime is an interview invitation, but it turns out to be just promotional spam from a clothing brand.
Ugh, 50% off summer shoes. Thanks, but I need a salary first to buy those shoes.
Exactly. Priority check.
But honestly, speaking of priorities, let's talk about that awkward period when you're waiting for news and you decide to take a temporary or part-time job just to pay the bills.
Oh, the survival job. That is such a real milestone. Whether it's working at a coffee shop, driving ride shares, or working retail, almost everyone does it at some point.
And yet, so many people feel embarrassed about it. They feel like taking a retail or service job after getting a college degree means they failed.
Which is so unfair. There is absolutely no shame in working hard to support yourself while you build your future.
Not at all. In fact, working my customer service job right after graduation taught me more about communication, patience, and handling high-pressure situations than half my college classes did.
Oh, customer service will build your character faster than any corporate internship ever could. You learn how to stay calm when someone is literally yelling at you over a wrong coffee order.
Exactly. It gives you thick skin. And more importantly, it keeps you active. It gets you out of the house, gives you a reason to put on real clothes, and put some cash in your pocket while you keep applying for roles in your field.
That's a huge point. Sitting home all day in front of a laptop facing uncertainty can really mess with your mental health. Getting out into the world, even if it's for a temporary job, keeps your momentum going.
Exactly. Momentum is everything. Once you stop moving, that feeling of being stuck gets heavier and heavier.
What about networking, though? That's another word that gives fresh graduates so much anxiety.
Networking. It sounds so cold and calculating, doesn't it? Like you're using people just to get a favor.
Right? You picture yourself in a stiff suit, awkwardly handing out business cards to strangers in a crowded room while sweating through your shirt.
That's the absolute worst nightmare. But real networking isn't like that at all. It's really just about making genuine human connections and asking people about their stories.
How did you reframe it for yourself when you were starting out?
Instead of asking people for a job right away, I just reached out to people who had cool careers on LinkedIn and asked for a 10-minute informational chat.
Asking for advice instead of asking for work. That takes the pressure off both sides.
Exactly. People love talking about their own journeys. I'd say something simple like, "Hi, I'm a recent graduate interested in your field. I love the work you do at your company, and I'd love to ask you 2 quick questions about how you got started."
That's so clever because it shows respect for their time and it shows initiative. And honestly, most professionals are more than happy to help someone who reminds them of their younger self.
Exactly. You'd be surprised how many doors open just because you were polite, curious, and took the chance to send a friendly message.
It all comes back to taking action, even when you feel terrified of rejection. Rejection is just part of the process in the job market. It's not personal, even though it feels incredibly personal when it happens to you.
It really isn't personal. A company might receive 500 resumes for one position. Being rejected doesn't mean you're not capable or talented. It just means that specific spot wasn't the right fit at that exact moment.
Every single no is just steering you closer to the yes that actually matters.
Man, Emma, that was poetic. We need to put that on a motivational poster.
Hey, if the podcasting thing doesn't work out, I've got a backup career in writing greeting cards.
Don't say that. This podcast is our sanctuary. Plus, where else do we get to drink free coffee and talk about our life struggles for an hour?
Good point. The coffee alone keeps me coming back every week.
Priority number 1, keep the coffee flowing. But seriously, looking back on that whole postgraduate blur, it really does make you appreciate how much you grow in such a short amount of time.
It really does. When you're in the middle of it, every day feels like an uphill battle. But once you come out on the other side, you realize that all that uncertainty was actually shaping your character.
Exactly. You learn how to handle rejection, how to budget your money, how to adapt when things don't go according to plan. Those are life skills that no university class can ever teach you.
Right. College gives you the academic foundation, but the transition into the real world is where you actually build resilience.
Resilience. That's the word right there. It's like hitting the gym for your mental strength. The first few workouts are painful, your muscles ache, and you want to quit. But after a while, you notice you're lifting heavier weights without even sweating as much.
I love that analogy. And just like going to the gym, you don't see results overnight. It's the consistency, sending those resumes, practicing for interviews, keeping a positive mindset that eventually pays off.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening right now who feels stuck in that middle zone, just remember that your timeline is completely your own. You don't have to match anyone else's pace.
Yes, please stop comparing your Chapter 1 to somebody else's Chapter 10. Some people land their dream role immediately, while others take 6 months or a year, and both paths are completely valid.
Exactly. In fact, taking a little longer often gives you time to figure out what you actually want, rather than rushing into a career path that doesn't fit you just to feel secure.
That's so true. I have friends who jumped into corporate jobs straight after graduation because they were scared of being unemployed, only to realize 2 years later that they hated the industry entirely.
Right. So having a bit of time to breathe, explore options, and even make mistakes early on can actually save you years of headache down the road.
It's all part of the journey. So if you're feeling the weight of the job market on your shoulders today, take a deep breath. You are doing just fine.
You really are. Celebrate the small wins. Keep building your skills, including listening to podcasts like this one to level up your English, and trust that the pieces will fall into place.
Well said, Leo. I think that's the perfect note to wrap up today's conversation on.
Agreed. Thank you so much to everyone who hung out with us today. If this episode brought you some comfort or helped you feel less alone in your post-grad journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who might need to hear it today.
We'd also love to hear your stories in the comments below. Tell us about your own graduation transition or what topic you want us to talk about next. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep learning, and stay confident.
Bye, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.